Hi there, Dr. Joseph Martin. Well, we've got a whopper of a topic for today. It's called lying and truth telling, forked tongue or truth tongue. Now, that definitely is a whopper of a topic because we're going to talk about our daily hilarious experience that we have with lies and truth telling. And then we'll talk about a few stories that are mythological, that have and historical, that have a lot to do with this topic. We're always in this quandary about whether to tell lies or tell the truth in any circumstance that we're in. It's quite hilarious, isn't it, the way that we deal with it in our lives? I mean, we all run through this. We're all imperfectly perfect in that way. So we don't know whether to tell a little white lie or a fib or a gray lie or just a black lie. Something that's going to really cause some chaos and commotion inside ourselves. Since time immemorial, human species have been dealing with this. It's like the battle between the two sides of our nature, our divinity, where we know that we're a truthful, honest, humble, divine soul, a spark of that one light, and we're all incarnations of the one great source light of divinity. With the human, the more basic instinctual human animal side, which we always want to pretend that we're better than we are, to look good for people, to always pretend we're smarter than we are, or more together than we are, or more honest than we are, and we tell little white lies, and there's that little voice and that wants us to say just one more little word of a little lie to try to make people like us more, or love us, or accept us more, or treat us better, and of course, inside there's that little voice that says, um, it doesn't matter if you tell a little lie because it'll help you with your inferiority complex and make you feel better. Well, we know that those are all lies. Now, where do those lies come from? Basically, we know that they come with the early development of the ego, which comes at the time in the first democracy, true democracy we had on the planet, with the time of the ancient Greeks, the time of Sparta, and so on, and there in Athens. There's a great book by Dr. Julian Jaynes called The Origin of Consciousness and the Breakdown of the Bicameral Mind. Well, there's a mouthful for you. Excellent book. I suggest you read it, only if you want to. In this, he states that in the evolution of human consciousness, when the ego first became a major kind of player or factor in the human nature, it was during that time in ancient Greece in the 3rd and 4th centuries before the Common Era, before Jesus, the first Christ. In that, we started to, the ego is the part that's the liar, the deceitful one, at least early in the history of the ego. We're kind of in the middle phase of the history of the evolution of the ego, where we're on the fence here now. The ego back then, and certainly in the time of Freud, about 110, 20 years ago, the ego was that part of us that was the one to take over the soul and put the soul imprisoned in the unconscious and the feminine in the unconscious, and take over the throne of our heart and our lives and tell us what to do out of fear and anxiety that if we didn't do it the way the ego said, that things wouldn't work out. Well, the paradox of all this, the hilarious paradox, is nothing can be further from the truth. When you tell a little white lie or a gray lie, a friend's going to mention it, a family member's going to mention it, they're going to call you on it. But we also have this inner moral compass. It's called human guilt. And there's a good side to human guilt. It's to help us stay on that true heart path of being not a forked tongue, but a truth-telling tongue that can say, hey, look, guy, gal, you know what? Doesn't work for me. The soul is speaking here. It's saying like, what's up, brother? You know what? Get real with yourself. Be authentic, get on the path. You're going to tell a lie. Your guilt's going to weigh heavy on you. you're going to be feeling that heavy weight of guilt on your shoulders all day long, and nothing can get rid of it until you forgive yourself and say, you know what, well, that was a great learning experience, which is what life is for, every little experience, and say, you know what, isn't it better when I tell the truth? Because, you know, we know from experience, every single one of us, myself included, that when we tell lies or we're deceitful, and this is like, let's just say it, you know, this is a time when deceitfulness rules the world, doesn't it? Because, you know, there's lies in politics and politicians, in, you know, economists and what they say about the global economy, all the social organizations and institutions, they all lie, including the justice or the injustice system, as we say. You know, there's cyberbullying, there's cyber hacking of nations into other nations' military and financial and banking systems. Your personal nation is probably, like most nations right now, hacking into all of your emails, into all of your banking and systems, and knows exactly what you want. So when they lie to us and are deceitful and say they're not doing it, we can see right through it. It's like the emperor has no clothes, get with it. So we can, as individuals, we're the only ones that can create our freedom. We can get through this and get over this. But the only way you're going to do it, you come clean and you say to yourself, doesn't work for me anymore. I need a better life. I don't want to wear this guilt trip all the time. And, you know, I've lost love relationships and sexual relationships. I've lost friendships. I've lost good connections with family members and other people. And I've lost, you know, what could have turned out to be a great friendship with a new person in my life just because I was lying to them. Well, that's what forked means, you know. You start to tell lies and be deceitful and kind of con people. The forked tongue side of it means it's always going to come back at you. It's going to bite you in the rump, right? And bite you in the heart where it matters, because you're going to lose, you know, a good friendship and you're going to lose a good partner. It happens in the business world, you know, you can get through this. And, you know, the honesty, hopefully, of this new young generation, the millennials, is that they're going to do business in a charitable, honest, good, co-creative way. You know, a few stories now. Well, when the white people, the Europeans, invaded Turtle Island in North America, we native people said to ourselves, and this is not a judgment or anything, it's just a discernment, could have gone the other way if the Europeans had been of a different mindset and been open hearted and kind and sharing and didn't want to take everything. A common saying is that, you know, all the treaties that were written and signed and all the promises that were made by the Queen or the King of England, whatever historical period, is we all said, you know, they speak with a forked tongue. They say something that sounds like good, but they never follow through. They were just lying, and they took it all anyways when they said they were going to give us our land, our rights, our schools for ourselves, our self-determination, our natural resources. We've been here thousands of years. Same old story. Can be undone, can be healed. So true truth and reconciliation is what we need. Now let's look at some interesting, an ancient Greek myth, because we've been talking about ancient Greece as the origin of the ego and its evolution within our human consciousness, and we're still on that path. That's the purpose of this video right now. Change your ego, switch it up, let it start telling truth as it evolves and unites with the soul in the heart. Get out of the head, into the heart. The head is like bipolar, forked tongue kind of stuff. The truth is a unity, truth-telling source. That's your true identity and nature. Better be true to yourself, authentic, and live out of your true source. Well, anyways, in the story of Pandora's Box, you probably know about it. Some animated versions, lots of things. Check it out. In this story, a Greek hero, Hercules, and Jason by name actually, went to find Pandora's Box because they were threatened by a king, an ancient king, that if they didn't, he would kill their lovers, their women in their lives. So they went on this path to the underworld to steal Pandora's Box from a witch in the underworld of the unconscious, if you like. We like doing Jungian psychological analyses of great mythologies because they're true about human personality and psychology and spirituality. So that's what we're starting to open up here in this little, our opening of Pandora's Box. Pandora's box was stolen from the underworld, taken back to the king, and by pure happenstance, the beloved person of Hercules in the hero in the story, and she unwittingly opened the box just out of sheer curiosity, and her name was Medusa, and we all know what happened to Medusa. She instantly became the embodiment of evil with all these writhing snakes in her hair and so on. And she turned anyone to stone when they looked at her. Isn't this what lies do to our relationships? They turn other people to stone, and now they're unavailable to us, and they become just inhuman in a way. And eventually, the only way that Medusa could be stopped, and this is a sort of a psychologically symbolic important issue or component here, a symbol, is that Jason, another great hero in ancient Greek mythology, and we're Jasons and ourselves, had to go and look in the back of his mirror, his shiny shield, and look in the inside of that, and eventually cut Medusa's head off with the sword, and that was the only way to stop her. So the suggestion here psychologically, symbolically, is when you can cut off the evil part of your lying, deceitful, head-tripping ego that tells you to do things that you know are not right for you. That includes your addictions and your other kinds of things where you kind of slide into the moral morass like the rest of the people seem to be doing on the planet. We all have that choice, don't we? Then you can deal with yourself when you cut that part off as a fearless warrior, and be ruthless enough with yourself and courageous enough with yourself to be uniquely truth-telling and have a unified tongue where your heart and the words that come out of your mouth and your actions are all unified. The results are magnificent and magnetic and magnanimous. What will happen for you is that when you tell the truth, you're open-hearted and you're unified in your heart, and your mind and your heart are unified in the truth-telling. And the words that come out of your mouth are going to be uniquely empowering and beautiful and resonant and attractive to all sorts of people of like heart, like mind, who will come into your life. Lovers, relationships, proper friends, loyal, trusting friends, good business partners, good business clients, and all will prosper in your life. That's a guarantee when you live this universal truth of the heart's one truth. Well, that's enough for right now. Perhaps you'll want to reflect on all this and just go over the experiences in your lives and what you've learned and what you have yet to learn from all these experiences. Life experiences just for learning and for enjoying and remembering to be the soul that you are, and the goodness of your soul, the kindness of your soul. And the soul loves to only tell the truth and can only always tell the truth. So take this in big spoonfuls, get rid of the forks, just take it all in a spoon, take it in and enjoy the experience. Until the next time, Dr. Joseph Martin, inwards, onwards, upwards. You have a great future ahead of you. When you switch it up in this way, start to tell the truth to yourself and all others, you'll see incredible instant results. Do it for at least 20 days and your life will be changed forever. All love, all blessings. Namaste.